Hey guys, I'm Matt here at the International 2014 playoffs. I'm joined here by Kpoptosis, who's the actual official stats. What's your title? Official statsman for TI4?
You can say that, yeah. I've been given the title of English stats. It's not the most.
Oh, English stats.
Stats.
Okay. But obviously, you're part of BTS, Beyond the Summit, and your title there is Handyman, Housemaid, and Statman.
Yes, and cook.
And Cook.
Yes.
All right. So we're actually going to run through kind of today's results, because obviously it's pretty confusing right now for a lot of people, and I thought, Kpoptosis, best guy to go through it with. The Navi IG game's still going on, but we'll discuss that in a moment. So let's focus on the top, right? So
the first thing to think is there's only one thing that's for sure right now, or there's two things that's for sure right now, and that's that Arrow's done. They're out. They're out of the tournament, and that Evil Geniuses and Vici Gaming are going to Key Arena, one way or another.
But they're not guaranteed top two.
No, they're not guaranteed top.
Not yet.
Not quite yet, because Evil Geniuses still has 2 games to play tomorrow against DK and Alliance, and Vici has 2 games to play. I'm not quite sure against who, but they could go 10-5. DK could win 2 games. IG could win here and win 2 more games. So a lot is still up in the air in that respect.
So EG are playing Alliance and DK tomorrow? Yes. And if that
last game of the scheduled tournament is Evil Geniuses versus Alliance,
which would put EG on 10-5 and DK on 10-5. And also we have Cloud9 in the mix on 8-5. They could also be.
So things are really up in the air in terms of top 2, and top 2 is very important because top 2 means you don't have to play in the bubble race. You go immediately to Key Arena with the top seed, which is very important. You can take those days off. You can watch your opponents. You don't have to worry about playing and just practice.
And that also guarantees top 6, which is $500,000.
Yes, it's a big.
Right. Let's focus. Let's go down a bit. Obviously, this is where it gets really messy. Right.
Basically, any team that's 4th and up is looking really good. They would have to lose 2 games and then have some stuff happen to knock them out. So they're all looking really, really good. I don't even know if they can technically be knocked out of the tournament. I think they might just, I think any team that is 8-5 and better is basically guaranteed to go on, but they might have to play in that dreaded 10-9-8-7 match. The problem with being in 10-9-8-7 is that in the first round of the bubble race, you face off against each other, and the loser of those matchups go home. If you finish in the red here, you go home, but you don't really want to be in that situation where you have 1 game to play or you're out.
Now let's speak about phase 3, which is the bubble race you mentioned. We should tell the viewers at home that basically it's broken down into 3 rounds, and if you're in third position or 4th, that guarantees you a position in round 3. Yes. And also you get to go to the main event regardless.
Yes. The only teams in the bubble race in phase 2 that have or in phase 3 that have a chance of not going to Key Arena are, like I said, 10, 9, 8, and 7. So if you get in top 6 in the groups, you make it to Key Arena, which is a really good spot to be in. But you do have to play the games to determine your seeding, which can be stressful and you might not want to have to do. So.
And that leaves 5th and 6th. They go directly into round 2.
Yes. So. Yeah, bubble races, for those that might not understand, is that they are basically tiered games. Yeah. So each it's like a single elimination bracket. You lose, you're out, but if you win, you move on. You can just start farther along the bracket based upon your ranking.
Now let's look at let's look at Navi IG. It looks. Yeah. So where would that leave IG? Let's see, 9-5.
9-5.
Which tie them with DK.
It would tie them with DK and potentially tie them with Cloud9, depending on how Cloud9 performs tomorrow.
And so for Navi?
A very good place. Navi, that would knock them down into this bottom, this conglomeration down here of possible 7, 8, 9, 10. Which, Navi's used to playing through loser's bracket type situations for sure, but they probably don't want to be there if they can help it.
Should we talk about the tiebreakers then that we might end up seeing around here?
Yes. I don't know if it's 100% confirmed, but I was told that all tiebreakers would be extra games.
Yeah, at the moment, it seems to be the case that they're going to be best-of-1 games. Then, depending on those results, we look at head-to-head results.
Right, and that could be very liable. Newbie and Titan play. 1 second, let me check my schedule.
That's a good plan.
Fancy schedule, yes. And so Titan and Newbie do not play tomorrow. So Titan plays off against Fnatic, who kind of has nothing to lose. And that's a scary team to play when you have nothing to lose. And Newbie faces off against Navi, another team that's fighting for their place. So it's possible if Navi wins against Newbie, Titan loses against Fnatic, that's a tie there that will have to be played out. So there's a lot to be determined left with still just 3 blocks of games to be played.
And last but not least, the bottom block. This block is, I mean, the names just are ridiculous. Like,
right, everyone expected Alliance to do well. Obviously, returning TI3 champions. Empire was on a streak earlier this year where they looked unbeatable. Everyone loves Fnatic. Fnatic had even played really well. Day one, they looked extremely good, knocking off some teams. So I'm sure a lot of these teams are surprises to be at the bottom, but it just goes to show like the caliber of the competition here, I think, especially the fact that there's no teams that have been defeated. But like I said before, none of these teams are statistically eliminated, but there's some kind of crazy shenanigans that are going to have to happen to get them there. LGD is not looking great, but if they don't lose, I think that they still make it onto the bubble race.
And do you want to kind of give your thoughts on how you think things are going to turn out tomorrow?
It's all going to come down to I don't see Evil Geniuses losing 2 games tomorrow. I don't see, even though they have DK and Alliance, which are 2 very strong games coming up tomorrow, I don't see them losing 2 more games. Same for Vici. So I think that they will be the top 2 teams going on to Key Arena, and I think that makes sense. And that leaves DK losing a game to EG, which is a big deal. That'll drop them down to 9-6, which is around some of these 6-loss teams. But I think it'll basically look like it does now, honestly. These teams in the red do have a chance to come back up, but it's kind of a long shot. They have to win and then have some things happen, right? Alliance has to play EG, which doesn't look good. Fnatic has to play Titan, who's a very strong team. All of these teams have to play very good teams to make it out. So I don't know. I think when we finish it, the top 10, the teams that move on to phase 2, is going to basically look like what we see in the black and purple here.
And where can people follow you and find you? I mean, obviously, you've got the stats on all this, so I think you're going to be the best person to follow tomorrow to keep up with this.
You can follow me on Twitter at Kpoptosis, Kpoptosis. That's basically the best place to follow me is on Twitter.
All right, thank you, Kpoptosis, and hopefully that helps you wrap up day 3.